Today, I have got a special guest on the show, Dr. Jordan Floyd. I've known Jordan for at least a couple years now, and he is with Limitless Physical Therapy over in Greenville, South Carolina. The dude is crushing it, people. He is crushing it. He started his practice, Jordan? Maybe about 2 years ago. He's already grown
2 years ago in May. So yeah.
I think he's grown already to like 6 therapists. He's added a location. He's mobile, but he's also added a location, and he continues to grow. This boy is determined to just dominate the Carolinas. And I had the, I'm not gonna lie, I had the honor of sharing some of my knowledge with Jordan in a weekend seminar about a year ago, and boy, he's just taken off. So I wish I could take credit for it, but this guy's a pretty smart cat, and he's done a lot of it on his own. But the reason why I have him on today is that we're going to talk about knowing your worth when negotiating with a gym. And Jordan recently negotiated just a very, very, very good price with the gym. So I'm going to have him speak about that in just a moment. But you know what? For right now, I've spoken long enough. Jordan, why don't you go ahead and just say hello to our listeners and our viewers?
Yeah. Well, thanks for that lengthy introduction. I appreciate that, my friend. And it's a pleasure to join you guys today. David's right. It's a little bit almost 2 years ago that I started my company, and about 18 months ago that I did a little weekend workshop with him and Josh to kind of get me from where I was by myself seeing, 10 or 15 patients a week to where we've actually grown a business out of this. So very grateful for the knowledge and expertise that they lended to me. And I still have the notes and stuff that I took from that weekend to this day on my desk. So I still take a look at that stuff all the time. It's super valuable stuff. So, excited to be with you guys today, and hopefully I can lay the blueprint for some success for other folks who are going to be watching this or listening to this later.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, Jordan, thank you so much for your time. And if you're catching the show live in the Facebook broadcast, just comment #live so they'll know that you're here. And of course, you know the drill. If you're catching on replay, comment #replay. Talitha is watching, and she is ready to get some knowledge from you. I know some other people are watching as well. So Jordan, I know you had brought this up about a week ago, and I was like, oh man, this is awesome. In fact, it's fantastic. We need to do a live on this, because you shared how you negotiated with a gym at $0 for rent, which is amazing. And as you recognized, a lot of people ask this question in Uncaged Clinician about negotiating with the gym. What kind of price should I make? What should I go for? What should I ask? How should I structure it? And you've been able to negotiate a wonderful smoking deal with a gym there in Greenville very recently, and graciously you're willing to share that knowledge with the world, and that's why I have you on. But for starters, maybe just kind of walk us through the steps of how you initially approached the gym.
Yeah. So it was kind of easy retrospectively for me to go back and go, all right, these are the steps that I followed to make this successful. And I was certainly strategic throughout the process, but I can't say that I was thinking of all these steps intentionally in order as I was going along. But now that I went back, I think I can kind of trace it back. And the first thing obviously just comes to the question of, why do we need a gym? Right. We have a mobile model that's working, and our clinic location that we have is really just kind of 2 private rooms, almost like little studios, where we can see patients. So we could see almost any patient and give a great experience in those spaces or at home. But the one population that we felt like we couldn't really serve well was either our late post-operative population or our kind of advanced fitness athlete population that really needed access to equipment and space, which is something that we just didn't have. And so I can't say I was aggressively pursuing this, but it was certainly something that was on my mind. And just so happened that a gym owner posted on a local Facebook group saying, hey, I'm looking for a therapist, or like either a physical therapist or a massage therapist, to come and sublease some space in my gym and add some value to our membership. So that's kind of how I initiated a conversation, was just saying, hey, I'm willing to sit down and talk and hear what you got to say. And then from there, we really got to kind of strike up a little more of a negotiation. But so go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, I love that story, because as an entrepreneur, it's always important to keep your eyes and ears open, looking for opportunities. Now with that, I want our listeners, and I always say this, is that not every opportunity is an opportunity, but always keep your eyes and ears open for opportunities. And if it supports your mission of what you're about, and, like, as you said, Jordan, you kind of had a need that you weren't looking, but you kind of had a need. Yep. And just the doors open for you, or at least that opportunity came to you. So, so that, that's why you pursued it, because the gym owner said, hey, looking, he's like, hey, I've actually got a need, even though I didn't know I was not really looking, but I've got a need. I think we can work.
Yeah, absolutely. And so then, the next step, obviously, after we had just had an initial conversation, and I kind of gathered that, he was interested in potentially bringing my company on board to assist with that. The first question I asked for him, because obviously I got to figure out if he's a good fit for us, right? We can't dilute our brand. We can't water down what we do at the expense of just being able to add this asset. We've got to make sure that it aligns with everything that we've worked to build up over these last couple of years. So the question that I asked him was, I want to know, I said, what are your priorities in bringing in somebody to your gym? What are you hoping to gain from this? And this was his answer. He said, first and foremost was the health and safety of his members. Secondly, he wanted to kind of enhance the branding and the reputation of his gym. And then revenue was third. Okay. So I think right off the bat, I would just say, from an advice standpoint, I think that's a great question to ask to a potential partner. And if revenue is number one, I think you probably need to be prepared that from a negotiating standpoint, they're probably going to have a hard line on, this is a number that I need, because otherwise this other stuff's not super important to me. But if you find somebody that says, I really value the health and safety of my members, and I would love to come alongside another brand or another partner and help us grow together, that was kind of an open door for me.
Right. I'll tell you what, before we came on the air, you said you had about 10 steps or 10 points. And, that first one right off the bat is, well, I guess first you asked, why do we need a gym?
Right. That was the first one. Yep.
The first one. Second one, asking that gym owner, what are your priorities? I don't care what the other 8 are. I think that has to be the best question right there. And you're absolutely right. If the first answer has something to do with revenue, then, better proceed with caution, because he's probably looking to charge high rent, and his mission may not be your mission. So I love that question. So before you go on, again, I want to say hello quickly to Jeff and Kendall, who are also watching via the Facebook broadcast. So thank you guys for tuning in. We've got several other viewers as well. So thank you. And if you guys have questions, please drop them in the comments below. And again, if you're listening via the Uncaged Clinician podcast, thank you so much. So Jordan, what was your step number 3?
Yeah. So from there, I certainly had an opportunity to be able to put a proposal together to figure out what it would look like. But my next step actually has nothing to do with that proposal. And this is just more of kind of a general guideline. And this one is just, don't rush the process. And here's what I mean by that. I didn't allow, and I didn't impose myself any strict deadlines on this as far as when we needed to get it done. And in fact, I kind of creatively, I guess schemed is the right way to do it. I kind of embedded one of my therapists in his gym. I had one of my therapists start jumping in on his free classes, getting to know the members of their gym, so that we got to a point where the members of their gym started asking, like, hey, this person happens to be a therapist and says that they love helping folks like us. Have we thought about bringing somebody like them on? So we actually created a little bit of demand, a little bit of urgency almost on their part. So I actually let things, we communicated by text or email a couple of times, but I kind of let things go cold on purpose, just to give us an opportunity to kind of get embedded in their community and try to create a little bit of demand there, which I thought was extremely useful later on once we got to the negotiating table, because we had a bunch of people in our corner at that point.
I love it, man. You just went CIA, FBI on them, KGB, everything else. That what a strategy. I love that. We talk a lot in our coaching program about, if you want to get the support of a potential referral source, support them. And, that's right. And that's what you did. You supported them, but I love the thought process behind it. Is let's infiltrate the gym and get the members, create that demand from within the members, so that the owner wants you to come in there. Oh, that's right. Brilliant strategy. I love it.
Thank you. So then at that point, I figured, and so essentially what happened after a month, I got a text from that gym owner that said, hey, let's sit back down and let's actually talk details, because the members are asking about this individual therapist and saying, man, we would love to have them on board. So let's do something. So at that point, I went into the process of actually creating a proposal. And really what I did was I tried to outline all the ways that we could potentially bring value to this gym. And so I think it's really easy for us to kind of come with a narrow focus when we start analyzing that in terms of, oh, these are the number of people that I'm going to bring in the door, or this is some discount that I'm going to offer their members, or this is some amount of rent that I could potentially pay to them. But us certainly, and I can almost guarantee for anybody that's watching this, there's a lot more value that you bring to the table than you even know. And so I actually went through the process of kind of outlining all this. And so I'm happy to kind of run through some of what we talked about, David, if that's kind of the next thing you want me to go through, because I think that might be useful for some people to hear.
Yeah, you know what? I think people would love to hear that. But, something that you've alluded to, and you're probably going to speak about this in the next couple of minutes. But I think oftentimes as therapists going into a gym, we think like, oh, I need this gym. I need this gym to get clients. What you're alluding to is, hey, how can you go to that gym and show them that, hey, you need me.
Right.
You need me in here. So I love where you're going with this. But yeah, if you want to share a little bit of kind of how that conversation went, please. I know our listeners and our viewers would love to know.
Yeah, I think the underlying, I'll tell you the underlying, I guess, theme behind it is that this whole ours in terms of Limitless becomes yours when I'm talking to the gym owner. So essentially when we partner up like this, our branding becomes your branding. Our marketing becomes your marketing. Our audience turns into your audience, and our referral partners become your referral partners, right? As an extension. And so what is the value of all of that, right? So that's what I kind of tried to come up with. So, I mean, I could give a laundry list, but like the ebooks and things that we've written that are super valuable for patients, those are things that now they have access to. Our closed Facebook groups where we get a ton of patients from, all of a sudden they're going to have access to that audience because we're going to bring them forward as our exclusive fitness partner, right? All of our past clients that get emails from us, they're now part of our email list where they can bring content in front of our clients. All of our social media followers are now a part of their audience, and they can present content in front of them. We happen to have a team of therapists, right? We have to have a team of 5 going on 6 therapists, all of which could be potential referral partners for them. We do written advertising where they could tag along with some of that and brand. So it was really the idea that our branding becomes theirs, our audience becomes theirs. And so our audience, in this case, happened to be a little larger than theirs, and that's okay. That was of extreme value to them as well.
I love it. Being here in Arizona, I would summarize all that as mi casa es su casa. So I love it.
It's a good way to summarize that.
I get it. Jumping way ahead, just for a brief second. Really, you didn't get this rent for free. If you think about it, he's actually paying for it. He's getting something in return. He's right. Getting marketing to a whole new clientele. He's getting exposure. So he is getting rewarded. But I think you're going to point that out later. So
absolutely.
Continue on, my friend. I'll tell you what, I'm taking notes here. This is Bam Fuego, man.